been taking Wellbutrin, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys my honest opinion on how things have been going and my experience. So if you don't know me, I'm Coach Kofia. I help women heal, thrive, become mentally and emotionally fit after any type of breakup or divorce. I'm also sharing with you guys on this particular channel how I am balancing my wellness and weight loss and becoming the best version of myself. So I started this journey on August the 2nd at 248.2 pounds, and as of my last week's weigh-in, I weighed in at 191.8, so a total loss of about 56 pounds. And for me, that has been phenomenal because it happened in about 20 weeks, so just at 5 months since I started the journey. And so I'm losing weight at a pretty consistent rate, and I am feeling generally good. Why did I start taking Wellbutrin? Well, I started taking Wellbutrin because as I was going through this journey of learning how to really understand the cues in my body and disconnecting from food being my source and my solution, I needed to go somewhere, right? And so ultimately, I know that I run to God, right? And I understand everything about that as far as I don't know if I understand everything about that, but I understand ultimately He is the source, right? And so everything else that we experience or have is a resource. And so really taking out food as being my source, I needed to find ways that allowed me to deal with the things that are real. And that during that process, that's me looking back, going through it. As I was detaching from food, it almost felt like a plug was unplugged, but there was still shock in the cord. I don't know. And it made me really feel unstable. And I use the word unstable lightly because I can't find a different word, but it felt like being on this emotional roller coaster going up and down with just normal things that I felt like shouldn't be as extreme as they felt like in my body. And so when I started to make the connection, because I really feel like God was showing me, right? In everything that I've done, I feel and I discern that when something comes up, it is time to deal with it. And I have the tools and the resources and the know-how or access to it to be able to deal with the real stuff. And so when this came up again, it reminded me of losing weight years ago and getting to a place where it felt really hard. And I don't know if this is you, but I've lost weight before, and getting to that weight, it felt really, really difficult to maintain because I was feeling so many emotions, and it was just to the point where it's overwhelming. And I remember that. And so I was like, I refuse to go back. I refuse to go back and feel like food is my everything, and allowing it to comfort me, and allowing it to make me happy, and allowing it to make me excited, and allowing it to get me out of sadness, and everything. I decided that I refused to do that. And so looking at, okay, what is the leverage that I can use in this moment with the information I have now to be able to handle the things that I want to handle? How can I get through this ultimately and learn what I need to learn? I don't know if it'll be something that I take long term. I don't think it will. But at the same time, I'm not going to look at getting help with medication. And I really want to remove that stigma. I know I can't do it by myself, but I really want to remove the stigma that drugs and using help in that form is bad, is negative. And even when people are talking to me, engaging with me, sharing on this channel in the comments, and I don't take it personally, but people will say things like, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have to take medicine." I don't know if they don't get how demeaning that can be, right? It's when you say that, so you're putting your level and my level of mental health or wellness, you're comparing them. And to be on my level of mental health or wellness because I've decided to take medication, or because the doctor recommended I needed to take medication, I am somehow less than, right? It's almost God blessed you more because you didn't have to get to this place. And I know people don't mean it like that. I'm not looking at it in that scenario, but I know that, right? I have the mental capacity, the mental awareness, the emotional maturity to recognize, I'm not going to, I'm mad at you for how you think. I'm not going to take offense to it, right? And not associate with you or break the relationship or what have you. But I'm just thinking about the people who don't. who've not yet gotten to the place emotionally to be able to decipher your opinion from who they are and what they think about themselves. And so really this episode, these videos, I'm hoping to just bring awareness to, and maybe a different perspective to, getting help, right? I'm getting help with losing weight and getting fit and becoming the best version of myself as it relates to my internal, external self. And a part of that is the wellness piece. A part of that is the mindset of getting rid of the anxiety, the way that I'm thinking, and understanding that the way that I have been wired is not completely been in my hands, but it's still my responsibility to manage, right? So the way I was raised, people in my bloodline, people made choices before me and passed it on through like DNA and all that stuff. Like, I don't have control over those things. However, I have found myself with this plate, right, with this deck of cards that I was dealt in life. And so now it's up to me to choose how to deal with it. And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I really want to bring awareness to how we speak to people that have decided to take medication, and really being careful with the words that we choose as it relates to that. And like, it almost like we gotta get out of this comparison thing and understand people are making decisions for them that's best for their health, and we gotta learn how to navigate that and not make it about us and how fortunate that we are because we don't have to do that, and really understand how that can affect somebody else when you say things like that. So I decided to get help because I understand leverage, and this is my opinion. I understand leverage. Like, when Myron Golden talked about leverage and when he teaches on leverage, I freaking love it. And I realized that I don't have to struggle. I don't have to struggle to get to the destination. And if I decide to take a different car that may be faster than someone else's car because maybe I can afford the gas or afford this type of car, then I don't have to feel bad about where I am in life to be able to do the things, the resources I have, right? It's almost like that survivor's guilt. Like, no, I don't have to do that, but I also don't have to feel bad or think negative of taking medication. And my kids are sending me messages, y'all. It's real life over here, so I may or may not edit this out of the video. So they are trying to call me because they don't understand that I'm recording a video. And so listen, let me tell them. So really, I want to bring awareness to how people decide to take care of themselves and really making that okay, right? That's a part of the stigma that therapy has had. And it's really about like getting the help that you need to become the best version that you were created to become, and not feeling bad, not making it mean more than what it needs to mean. And so that is my hope by sharing my experience on Wellbutrin. That's it. That's all. Okay. So I realized that I was going through this emotional roller coaster. I decided to reach out to my doctor. I reached out to my therapist because I understood, like, I know that there was something deeper, right? I know that there's deeper things, that patterns that are within in my body that's trying to come out. And this is like a whole nother episode, but go read the book, The Body Keeps Score. It'll change your life. So I reached out to my doctor and she recommended Zoloft. And then I talked to some people that I know and I asked them about what they thought about this medication, that Zoloft. And so a couple of them recommended, hey, do you think about getting on Wellbutrin? I've done a little bit of research. Zoloft is an SSI, I believe, and Wellbutrin is a different type of medication that affects a different part of your brain. And I also had taken a medication called Contrave that had Wellbutrin inside of it. And so I knew a little bit about it. So Wellbutrin is designed for depression, ADD, I believe a little bit of anxiety. Zoloft is more for anxiety. But the side effects that are with Zoloft were not with Wellbutrin, and that's why I decided to take Wellbutrin. Okay. And so my doctor was like, sure, we can call that in for you or whatever. So called in the prescription, start taking it about a week ago, a little over a week. I think it was a Friday. So like last Friday, I think is when I started to take it. From the initial response, I will say I had dry mouth, and I said that in the initial video. That kind of has gone away, even though I still, I'm drinking my water because that's a part of my wellness journey. But I haven't really had a significant dry mouth. I have a little bit today because I have been talking. We've been recording an episode on my podcast, Opportunities Over Obstacles, that'll be dropping in, or the next season will be dropping in 2025. But overall, I haven't had a lot of dry mouth. As far as side effects, I have had a couple headaches. I don't know exactly where that's coming from, but I can definitely tell that I've had a couple headaches. As far as like how I feel like the medication is working, I'm not sure it's working, but I don't I'm not feeling what I was feeling before. And so I think I need to be on it a little bit longer to give more of an experience update. I will say, and I kind of relate this to another person who was giving feedback on Wellbutrin, just really getting the things completed that I want to get completed. Like, for example, I reorganized the linen closet. I reorganized the bathroom closet. Got a couple things done as far as like things that I had been putting off for a while, and I've had the energy to actually do it. I also lost 5 pounds last week, and last week was my first week on the medication, and that was probably the second biggest week that I've had. And so I'm wondering if there's the additional side effect of Wellbutrin has appetite suppressant. So I'm thinking that that is related to it. The other things, no jitters, right? I definitely feel like my mood has been consistent and stable. I told you guys before I was laughing a lot more, and I find myself being a lot more present. Even though I've practiced presence, and I'm a lot better than I was like years ago, right? I'm a lot better as far as like, and when I say a lot better, I mean like I have more mental capacity to do things. And I believe that there's levels to that, right? And I just have grown so much, and I have even more presence. Like I'm even more present and even more able. Because, for example, a lot of my childhood and even in my early 20s, I don't remember things. And this is how I knew like I wasn't being present. I didn't remember experiences. I remember my fantasies. I would be so up in my head fantasizing about what I wanted life to be that I never really fully experienced life as it was. And I know from counseling that a part of that was I needed to have an escape to feel safe in my mind. Well, what nobody tells you is that, okay, yes, that's going to get you to cope with the trauma, right? The things that I've experienced in my life that I didn't want to feel and would be like heartbreaking, life-shattering, and would break a person if you don't detach. Well, part of like healing and my journey to healing is reattaching my mind and my body together, like getting back into my body. And that's what the whole Healed You, right? The whole business, the organization, the movement is becoming the whole Healed You. Is from connecting my mind with my body and being present and not fantasizing so much that I'm not experiencing life right now. And so coming from that, where I wasn't experiencing anything, to get into a place where I'm experiencing a lot more, and now even much more experiencing the everyday life, enjoying the beauty of the trees, the wind, right? The clouds, my daughter's laugh, right? It's enjoying them so much, and being in the present is like transformational, like the growth. And so I'm feeling even more of that now, and I'm thinking it's related to the medicine. I will say that I feel like overall this was a good choice for me. I'm going to continue at least 90 days, and really put into practice the things that I've been doing in my fitness journey, right? So I've developed the habit of strength training. I've developed the habit of drinking water. I've developed the habit of really paying attention to when my body needs fuel and feeding my body and nourishing my spirit. And I've developed those habits and continue to build on it so that it really becomes a part of who I am. And so I want this wellness part, as far as like the mental, emotional, like one of the things that I'm really desiring is my response to my daughters. I want to be a soft place for them to land, not just for my man, but for my kids, right? I think it's mutually important. And I was talking to one of my friends actually, who is a psychologist, and she talked about how the mother wound is the wound that causes us to go into bad relationships. And I don't want to give that for my daughters. I want to, it stops here, right? That generational curse stops here. And being that soft place and operating from a place of abundance and joy and peace and love and patience, and not so much fear, anxiety, and worry, and, all doubt and scarcity. And so I believe that, using this tool of Wellbutrin is helping me to navigate those relationships better. And so that is my update for you guys. I hope that you have found some encouragement, some help from it. I will continue to update you guys likely at the 30-day mark, and then going forward probably every 30 days or so, just to kind of give you an update on what that looks like. Let me know I know I have talked to a few people that, or at least in the comments you have shared that you have experienced it, you're on Wellbutrin. I would love to know if there have been things that have been said to you that, you know, maybe you shouldn't have said, they shouldn't have said, and maybe you said some of those things. I would love to have our comment section here be a place where we can encourage people. So like, what would you say to those people who said it something about taking medication? Or what would you say to yourself now, right? I know this can be kind of scary and you know, oh my God, who's gonna see this? But I challenge you to be a little bit vulnerable in the comments by sharing your experience with how people responded to you taking Wellbutrin, depression medication, anxiety medication, weight loss medication, and be a voice for yourself, but also be a voice for somebody who may not feel comfortable like saying something back to somebody or calling them out on the thing. So yeah, I guess that's my request for this comment. If you like this type of content, definitely hit the like button and it pushes it out to more people. Subscribe to my channel. I'm finding that 70% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, and it's free, so you can subscribe and it doesn't cost you a thing. Love to have you a part of this amazing community where we are rooting for each other to become the best version of ourselves. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Y'all go be great by what? Mastering what's on your plate. And remember, you and I, we grow better together. We'll talk soon. Peace.